This is Talk of the Town, a weekly program featuring community events happening in and around Northeast Michigan, with your host, Nancy Smitham, and get the latest from Alpena Community College with Don McMaster. And now, today's Talk of the Town.
Good morning and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Nancy Smitham. My first guest today is Katie Wolf, and she's here from Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary, where she is the director of the Friends Group. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you.
And a great organization like Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary could not run without those wonderful volunteers, the Friends of the Sanctuary, and you have a great group.
I really do. I'm very, very fortunate and a very hard-working group. I think one of the things that people don't often understand about the sanctuary and its operations is that much of it, particularly its education and community outreach, is funded through activities through the Friends. And as that's grown and gotten really robust, they've, needed to create a position to where we can help raise funds pretty much all year round to help support those activities.
And give me an idea of some of those activities.
Well, we've got a whole slew of them going on right now, so
Okay.
it's a perfect question. This week we have a gathering at Latitudes that we're working on with Huron distributors, and some of the proceeds from 6 to 9 on Thursday will help support the Friends Group. So that's a fun one coming
Yay.
up right now. And then next week is Giving Tuesday that we're participating in
Yes.
through the Community Foundation. So people just need to go online to the Community Foundation and they can make a donation to the Friends. And then it's the end of the year, so we're working on our end of the year campaign. And for us, I think the exhibit area in the Heritage Center, all of those exhibits, they're about 10 years old right now, so we're trying to refresh those, so we're raising money on behalf of that. We try to reach just about every student in the Alpena region, and so that's really important. They get to go out on the shipwreck, Alpena Shipwreck tour boat, Lady Michigan, and see for themselves the shipwrecks, but they learn so much more about being good stewards of the Great Lakes, and so that's an important program that we support. So anything that we raise then goes back into the community through education and outreach.
So if you were a member of the Friends Group, give me an idea of some of the different things you'd be able to do.
Well, we have a ton of things as far as volunteers to do, and one of the big things coming up right now, we're starting to plan the film festival for
Unbelievable
January.
event.
And that is it's the Thunder Bay International Film Festival. This will be our 5th year, and typically it sells out. We fill every seat, so there's like 6 different sessions, and so that's about 100 seats. So we have about 100 people, but for that program to work, we have to have around 50 to 60 volunteers working it because we keep expanding it. This year is really fun because we're going to have a pre-screening in Rogers City.
Perfect.
And also a pre-screening in Harrisville. So that'll be really fun.
For the expanded sanctuary, right.
Before the event starts, and then Thursday night we're going to have the opening, and then we go all the way through Sunday. So it'll be, more films, more activities, and I'm looking forward. Thursday night they're having the theme Ice, and that was Project Ice, that film last year was such a huge hit. So they've got some really neat new films on ice this year too.
Well, I just have to say, when the first year it started, there was a horrible snowstorm, but you still had great attendance, and every year it's gotten bigger and better, and I know Stephanie's traveled to Traverse City and other areas to find out about their film festivals. We actually get films and filmmakers here in Alpena that some other areas aren't even able to get. It's phenomenal. As you said, it's international. We have people and filmmakers from all over the world that come here to screen their films for our audience.
It is, it's really very special for this area because we partner with San Francisco, and that's where we get the films, and we are fortunate through a grant with NOAA that we are able to have the films available here. But there's really only a few places in the world where you can go and see this selection. So if you're a film buff, because the films range from all different types of topics, but they are all focused on water, the oceans, the Great Lakes, and so it's exciting because you can make that connection to your home, here. But then you learn a lot, and some of them are very exciting. And there's some that are definitely, you sit on the edge of your seats. Anything to do with ice is pretty crazy.
And when the filmmakers that come here, I mean, it's a small audience. You're able to talk with them, meet them, ask questions. I mean, unbelievable chance to, if you're a filmmaker, to be up close and personal with someone that is a filmmaker of renown.
And we hope that we have a program that this is the second year where we're reaching out to students. We have a student competition, so that's for high school students, and we're really hoping that they will get involved because, you know, between GoPros and video cams and cameras right now, it's an opportunity for them to do something. The theme is biodiversity, and so it's an important theme right now because we are losing so many of our plants and animals, and so it's an opportunity for them to help tell that story from a local perspective, and so that's a way to reach out to our young filmmakers. But you know, this panel discussion they have with the filmmakers is one of my favorite parts. It's really fun to listen to the challenges that they have had and to see filmmakers who to some degree are competitors because, you know, everybody's trying to do what they can to make their films successful, come together and really share what they've learned in their experiences.
And for an economic impact in our community, every hotel is filled. It's always a great weekend for us, and you'll see people that you don't recognize in all the stores and the gas stations and the restaurants, so it's a wonderful thing. So someone out there says, oh my goodness, I want to be involved. What's the best way to become a friend of the sanctuary?
Well, they can go to our website, but I would recommend and would love for them to call me because I'd like to talk to them personally. So they can call and then we can find out about their interests, so if they're, you know, they'd like to volunteer or perhaps they just want to sponsor or make a donation. But then they get invited to all the activities that we have, and that's something we're going to work even more so on, is having special opportunities for the friends. Last fall we took a boat trip out and it was at sunset, and it was absolutely spectacular. So we hold our friends near and dear. So I would call, I can give you that number.
Yep, please.
If I can remember it. No, it's 1-989-356-8805, and that's extension 10.
Okay.
They can also contact, if they're interested in volunteering, Stephanie Gondula. She coordinates our volunteers and also is really looking for people to come out for the film festival, so she would be another person to contact.
There's so many fun things to do at the sanctuary. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Really looking forward to the success of the 5th annual film festival. I know it's going to be marvelous.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. I'll be right back following these messages.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Dr. Don McMaster, president of Alpena Community College, and I'm pleased to have as our guest this morning Jay Walterite, Director of Public Information and Marketing at ACC and Secretary to the Board of Trustees, a man who wears many hats.
We all do at the college.
Well, thank you. Part of the reason for your appearance here today is your generation of a wonderful document, and I'm very proud of it, and it is the ACC Annual Report.
That's right.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's a labor of love. Work with a number of different people across the college to collect the information, to put it all together in a way that is condensed but also meaningful to people, and then get it out there to our communities. I think it's great that our communities know the good things that are going on at the college, and there are many good things every year.
Yeah, absolutely, and thank you for doing it. What are some of the highlights in this year's report?
Well, it's organized around 4 main areas. These are what I would say are our biggest accomplishments for the 2015-2016 year. The first would be the creation of our Electrical Systems Technology bachelor's degree. For those in our audience who are not aware of bachelor's degrees for community colleges, a couple of years ago, Governor Schneider of Michigan signed legislation that enabled community colleges to do bachelor's degrees in selected areas, 5 selected areas, if I recall correctly. And one of those areas was power generation, electrical systems. And we thought that that tied in very well with our UTT program, which is statewide and nationally known. So, as you know, some of our faculty members and other people were putting together that program, and in preparation for it going live this fall.
Which it did.
Which it did.
Successfully launched.
That's right.
Yes, that is a major accomplishment on behalf of ACC and those instructors. Very true.
Historic.
Yes.
A bachelor's degree for a community college. And of course, we want to do it very well. And in the end, have those jobs for those students at the end of the pipeline. We're very concerned about that. So that's one of our good stories. Another one of the good stories, also related to the UTT programs, was the rodeo, the Lineman Rodeo that we did in April of 2016, which also brought in a lot of community members and almost all college staff. If our viewers aren't aware of what a college rodeo is, it has a number of physical activities as well as a knowledge chest for students who are in programs like our utility tech program, those people who are out there climbing poles and fixing power lines and making sure you don't get too cold on those winter nights when the power goes out. So we had a group, we had a number of groups from 5 different states come to Alpena in April. And the competition was fierce, it was fun.
It was.
And there was a lot of good that came from it. So that was one of our big stories.
A memorable event in April. Absolutely true.
You know, I have to say in general about the annual report that there are so many things that go on at the college on a regular basis. It's a joy of mine to be able to document them, to get pictures and text of them, and just to remember what happened. So often we are moving forward rapidly and thinking about the future and trying to position ourselves to serve our students and our communities well. It's easy to forget about our accomplishments.
That is very true, Jay. I find that myself. The pace of activity is so rapid. When something kind of memorable or historic or something that adds to the legacy of ACC happens, sometimes it's followed up so closely by the next thing that you don't get real space to enjoy it. It's, okay, that went well, let's get to the next thing. And your document allows us time to reflect, which is, in many cases, a somewhat missing ingredient in our work life.
Well, it all works together. There's a history, there's a continuum there that's important for people to understand what's going on. Another one of the 2-page spreads in the annual report relates to the college's grant-funded activities, also a very important part of our function. With our grant activities this past year, one of the great outcomes was an industrial technology lab that went into our Huron Shores campus down in Scotia.
Very significant.
Very significant. Very proud of that, and hopefully providing many opportunities down in that area for those for the residents of that area. Also work on unmanned aerial systems, also known as drones.
Yes.
A lot of activities related to that. Dawn Stone and her crew are doing a wonderful job of developing those areas, and I know that there's work between the college and the airport and a group affiliated with the airport to try to develop those economic opportunities.
Northern Michigan Unmanned Aerial Systems Consortium.
That's right, which could be very significant for our area.
Very much so.
They're working very hard at that to try to bring those opportunities to our area. So the college is proud to be a part of those activities, just another way that we try to serve our communities.
So Jay, we got about 1 minute left, and I would just urge the viewers, if you see the document, it's very appealing visually.
Thank you.
It's full of interesting facts that are accurate and pertinent. It was not an exorbitantly priced thing to produce, which is important for us because we have limited resources. But you know, in 30 seconds, a bottom line from you for about this activity.
It will be posted on our website underneath the About ACC section, underneath the President's message. So if our viewers are interested in seeing it, they can go there, find it, download the PDF, and look through it. We'll also have printed copies available in our office.
Very good. I just commend you for the effort. I appreciate pulling together all the things that we've done this past year, which was a very historic year in some ways. Some of the things that happened, you built it around our strategic plan, so people can see what our priorities are and our focus and vision and how we're guided in that way. So it's just a wonderful document. Thank you very much for your efforts, and thank you for watching Talk of the Town. We'll see you again next week.
This has been Talk of the Town with your hosts, Nancy Smitham and Don McMaster. For a list of events taking place in Northeast Michigan, please visit our website at wbkb11.com and click on the community link. This has been a Thunder Bay Broadcasting Corporation production.
The Talk of the Town furniture and set design are provided by Young Appliance Art Van Furniture on US 23 South in Alpena.